5 words. The feds have it all. Yeah.
It's over for your boy Pooh Shiesty, man. I hate to say it, but the feds got everything they need to win the case against that boy, man. He ain't never getting out, man. Check this out.
Yeah. What we're going to do is you're going to see the screen get bigger because obviously I'm reading, and it is what it is. Government's response to defendant's motion for review of the detention order and for release on conditions. This means now we ain't going Pooh Shiesty. Y'all can see the table of contents and all this, and we just going to get straight into it. Defendant Lontrell Williams Jr. stands charged with kidnapping, conspiracy to commit kidnapping, Hobbs Act extortion, and conspiracy to the same. He was ordered detained after Magistrate Judge Tolliver appropriately determined that Williams Jr. posed both a flight risk and a danger to the community if released. Williams Jr. now moves to revoke this detention order and requests the court impose conditions of release. However, his detention was and continues to be appropriate under 3142G factors. For the following reasons, this court should deny the defendant's motion and request for an order setting.
Man, they denying everything, man. That boy ain't getting out, man. With the evidence them feds got, that video of them robbing Gucci, man, and making them sign the contract, it's over for you, boy.
Conditions of release and should continue Williams Jr.'s detention pending trial. Procedural and factual background. Williams Jr. orchestrated an armed kidnapping and robbery while on federal home confinement. On January 10, 2026, Williams Jr. and his 8 co-conspirators perpetrated the armed kidnapping and robbery of 3 victims in a Dallas, Texas music recording studio. Williams Jr., the recording artist who performs under the moniker Pooh Shiesty, also leads a Memphis-based street gang referred to as the Chopper Gang. At the time of the offense, Williams Jr. resided in North Texas, fulfilling the final months of a 63-month sentence for conspiracy to possess firearms and furtherance of violent and drug trafficking crimes.
Man, those are some serious allegations. But at this point, I don't even know if you can call it allegations anymore. It's just straight facts at this point.
In violation of 18 U.S.C. 9240, United States versus Lontrell D. And it says right here, as Memphis Detective Paul Petty, that's a damn superhero name, but whatever, previously explained to this court in the May 27, 2026 hearing regarding co-defendants Kadarius Waters' pretrial detention, the Chopper Gang is Memphis-based clique of Grape Street Crips that have been known to participate in homicides, robberies, carjacking, firearm offenses, and narcotics trafficking. Williams Jr. is the co-founder of the gang, which has close to 100 or more members. Oh, y'all.
Man, them boys is deep. So I guess that whole Chopper Gang thing is bigger than rap. It's deeper than rap. That thing, that's an actual thing. That's a gang. And Pooh Shiesty is the leader of the gang? Man.
Amazing.
It's all
incredible.
Bad.
Oh, thugging with the Chopper Gang. I didn't know it was that deep. Anyways, as part of his sentence, Williams Jr. was required to reside in a Frisco, Texas apartment and was supervised by case managers with a Bureau of Prisons, BOP, contractor, Volunteers of America, VOA. Williams Jr.'s home detention included, among other things, requirements that he would not own or possess any dangerous weapon, associate with persons having a criminal record, or consume alcoholic beverages, unless given specific permission to do so otherwise. Williams Jr. was required by these conditions to remain at his place of residence, but Williams Jr. routinely failed to abide by these conditions throughout the course of.
Pooh Shiesty just should have just kept his ass in the house, man. He been finessing his way to get out of the house when he's supposed to be basically on house arrest. Not only that, he went and robbed somebody. Not only that, it was all on video. God.
His home confinement assisted in skirting these requirements through the help of collusive VOA employees. Investigators have now learned that Williams Jr. was involved in an inappropriate relationship with at least one of his VOA case supervisors, and that this VOA employee was actively involved in entering fake day passes that would allow Williams Jr. to travel to unapproved locations while he was supposed to be confined to his residence. This misconduct extended to the day of the kidnapping itself on January 10, 2026. I was like, to me, the feds are slick saying, yo, had this person not even made him feel empowered and basically allowed him to leave, this robbery that was supposed to happen with Roderick Davis, this shit wouldn't even happen. Let's continue on.
But instead, he finessed his way out of the house, went and did that, and woke up one day.
FBI, open up!
Because this is a longer video, because that boy was dumb as hell. It's all over.
And I've been saying this, man. That was super dumb. And I believe Pooh Shiesty is slow, man. He was on that little yellow bus, man. And he probably was the one that was licking the window. For real. That was super dumb, man. I still, right now to this day, I don't understand it. Because business is business. And all he had to do is handle it in a business manner. He probably could have paid Gucci and got out of his contract. It could have been simple as that. Or he could have just took Gucci to court. One way or the other, he could have got out of it without pulling out Dracos and holding that man hostage.
On that day, the employee entered 3-day passes, allowing Williams Jr. to travel, and contacted him 19 times over the course of the day. VOA later terminated the employee for this conduct. Despite having VOA employees actively assisting him and skirting the requirements of his home confinement, Williams Jr. still managed to be formally written up for violating his conditions on at least 4 occasions. These included providing a cold urine sample on November 8, 2025, which was documented as a refusal. Failing to appear for his urinalysis on January 30th, 2026, to which he claimed he was unable to secure transportation. Failing to report for his biweekly check-in on March 3rd, 2026, and claiming that he did not have transportation to report for a scheduled urinalysis appointment on March 21st, 2026. When Williams Jr. asked if he could report the next morning for his test, VOA approved this request, yet he still failed to report. On the afternoon of the offense, Williams Jr. was written up for being at an unapproved location. VOA records support the statements provided by the victims and witnesses that Williams Jr. was called and instructed to return to his home immediately, but he ultimately failed to do so. 2, Williams Jr. planned and executed the premeditated armed kidnapping to extort his way out of a recording contract. On the day of the offense, Williams Jr. lured Gucci Mane, a music industry executive and owner of a record label, and the other victims to Dallas under the guise of participating in a business meeting.
One thing I think Pooh Shiesty should have realized when they let him out and gave him an opportunity to chill at the house is that nobody's bigger than the program, man. You're not going to get away with finessing the system and going to do a robbery, man. Nobody's bigger than the program, Pooh. Now you're locked up. And I know in the back of his head right now, I'm pretty sure Pooh Shiesty probably in there right now acting like a gangster. But in the back of that boy head, man, I bet he's saying,
Williams Jr. had been signed to Gucci Mane's 1017 record label for over 5 years. Though, throughout much of the relationship, Williams Jr. was federally incarcerated. During his incarceration, Latrell Williams Sr., father and purported business manager, made numerous unsuccessful attempts. And you can see right here, they talking about the FDO shit and everything. And basically said F the feds, which it is what it is. So made numerous unsuccessful attempts to renegotiate the terms of Williams Jr. contract with Gucci Mane, including trying to obtain the rights to Williams Jr.'s master recordings. Once Williams Jr. was released to home confinement in October 2025, he personally continued to push these negotiations. While Gucci Mane remained open to negotiating certain aspects of Williams Jr.'s contract, such as his album payouts. Gucci Mane was adamant he would not give Williams Jr. the rights to his masters. It was under the pretext of continuing these negotiations that Gucci Mane believed he was invited to Dallas. On January 10, 2026, Gucci Mane traveled to Texas to attend this meeting with his photographer, close friend BP, and two former police officer security guards, CW and TD. Pooh Shiesty arrived at the recording studio meeting with Williams Sr., his fellow Chopper Gang leader and Memphis recording artist, Rodney Wright Jr., a.k.a. Big 30, his close friends, Kadarius.
I damn near forgot about that. There was some off-duty officers in the room, along with the cameras.
Waters and 5 other Confederates at the studio.
Idiot.
Williams Jr. spoke on the phone with what the victims believed was his parole officer, telling the person he was speaking to he was not supposed to be out. After this call, Williams Jr. asked to speak with RD in a soundproof recordings room adjoining the main control room, with Williams Sr. and Wright Jr. then joining the two in the recording room. Once inside the recording room, Williams Jr. demanded Gucci Mane release him from his recording contract and produced a printed contractual release for Gucci Mane to sign. And then it says a master recording is the original definitive recording of a musical work. Y'all know what the masters are. A copy of this release, printed by Williams Sr. at Staples hours before the offense, was later recovered from Williams Sr.'s emails. Gucci said, hell nah, refused to sign the presented release paperwork, prompted Williams Jr. to instruct Big 30 to bring him his bag. When Big 30 returned with the bag, Pooh Shiesty produced a Draco, described by the victims as a chopper, pointed it at Gucci Mane's head and repeated his demand that Gucci sign the release of the contract. Well, damn. Unsatisfied with merely obtaining the written release of the contract, Williams Jr. announced that he wanted Gucci Mane, and Big 30 recorded Gucci Mane on his cell phone, stating that Pooh Shiesty dropped from 1017, all while co-defendant DeMarcus Glover, who had entered the recording room as this altercation ensued, blocked the door holding a Draco. So now
So I guess, so in the yellow, that must be Gucci Mane right there in the yellow. Look at Pooh Shiesty. You see Pooh Shiesty. Man, look at this guy with the Drake. Oh, man. It's all right there on video. That's crazy. It's crazy that they thought they was going to get away. It's crazy that Pooh Shiesty thought that he was going to get away with it. That's the crazy part. That fool went back to the crib and he woke up too.
FBI, open up!
And now it's a wrap.
they said it actually wasn't Big 30 that was holding the door. So here you go right here. This is so goddamn stupid, bruh.
Retarded,
This
man.
is the video right here. Never mind. So here you go. Example 00 depicting Williams Sr. holding a document in the recording room. Also featured are Williams Jr. in black and RD in yellow. Government example 1 as 05 depicting Glover holding a Draco in front of the recording room door. Right, example 1 at 1111 depicting RD releasing Williams Jr. from his contract.
Gucci man.
And then y'all see, a Draco is a distinct firearm that resembles an AK-47 styled rifle.
And we see it in the picture.
So there y'all have it. Y'all have it. The feds have the video. They watched this shit. These dummies were so damn stupid. This is one of the things where people had to go, yo, Pooh Shiesty, bruh, you just screwed your goddamn self. There's parts where you film and there's parts where you don't film, right? And one of the things that people often fail to do is not film the shit they're not supposed to film. This is why when you see Vlad or Adam or Kim Capone and these cats who have had their videos subpoenaed and all this shit, the feds or the state are hoping to catch the beginning parts of some illegal shit if it happened. I'm not saying that it's happening, but I'm telling you that's the reason why they do that. Let's continue on reading, because shit gets way worse. If you can, hit that like button. This is a longer video, but y'all have to get the whole entire shit so nobody can give y'all some goddamn perspective that ain't even true because they didn't read everything. But there you go. Roll it. Gucci Mane's signature and verbal release of contract. Williams Jr. robbed Gucci Mane of approximately $450,000 worth of personal property, including his wedding band, a watch, a pair of earrings, and the cash Gucci Mane was carrying in his pocket. With signed release and Gucci Mane's jewelry in hand, Williams Jr. and Wright Jr. forced Gucci Mane back into the control room at gunpoint, hands raised like a bitch. There, the violence continued with Wright Jr. and two other co-conspirators blocking the exit door with firearms drawn while the other co-conspirators robbing MM and BP at gunpoint. During the offense, MM has described that he was choked to the point of near unconsciousness while BP was recounted to the investigators that Williams Jr. held the barrel of his Draco to the back of his head. Williams Jr. and his co-conspirators subsequently exited the larger office building encompassing the music studio through one set of doors, while RD, MMCW, and TD left through the other and called the police.
And I'll say, man, they came in there with Dracos and masks. They probably was about 10 deep at least, holding Dracos to the back of people's head, man. So Gucci and them had every reason and every right to feel like their life was in danger, and I'm sure they did, and I'm sure that's what they told the feds, and the feds believe that because that's what they see in the video. It's over for Pooh Shiesty, man. It's a wrap, man. This was the dumbest shit ever, man.
So these niggas didn't just goddamn go down there to the police station. They called for help. Help!
Right.
At the detention hearing, the magistrate judge correctly assessed Williams Jr.'s danger to the community and fight risk and ordered he be detained. Williams Jr. was apprehended at his Frisco, Texas apartment on the morning of April 1st, 2026, and he made his initial appearance in front of the Honorable Magistrate Judge Tolliver on April 3rd, 2026. His probable cause and detention hearings were held on April 8, 2026, where FBI Special Agent Pamela Hansen testified for the government. At the conclusion of this hearing, the court ordered Williams Jr. to be detained, finding that the weighted evidence against the defendant is strong. She was particularly troubled by his prior criminal history and Williams Jr.'s participation in criminal activity.
I'm gonna have to say the judge was absolutely right in his decision. I mean, look at the paperwork. Everything that they read out lets us know that this nigga does not need to be let out. He needs to be where he is right now. He's a danger to society, man. He went and robbed his CEO, pretty much kidnapped him, according to them. I mean, there's no way he should be out. I think the judge was absolutely right in his decision that he made, man. Keep him in jail.
In this case, while under supervision, the court further highlighted his history of violence and weapons charges, his history of substance abuse, and determined that Williams Jr. violated the most restrictive of conditions that were imposed by the BOP. Therefore, Judge Tolliver could not find there's any condition or combination of conditions she could impose now. They're almost the same. That would reasonably assure Williams Jr. appearance as required in safety of the community or another person released. Then they go on to talk about the legal standard, which we're not doing none of this shit, but it does hold fact for the argument and analysis. Neither the facts and circumstances of the offense nor Williams Jr. personal characteristics have improved since April 8th detention hearing. In fact, the strength of the government's case has only increased, including through locating the contract of Williams Jr. forced RD to sign and video of RD's kidnapping and extortion itself. The evidentiary gaps that Williams Jr. used as a foundation for his filing have now closed. Almost equally pervasive in Williams Jr. request is the theme that he has previously demonstrated compliance with the conditions of home confinement. However, subsequent ongoing investigation into Williams Jr. behavior once released from BOP paints a different picture, with his repeated failure to comply with the terms of his home confinement further underscoring the lengths that he will go to subvert conditions set by the court or government authority and danger he possesses to the community if released. As explored below, all four sections of 3142G factors weigh heavily in the favor of Williams Jr. detention, and no condition or combination of conditions exists that could reasonably mitigate these risks. Then when it talks about basically how these niggas was violent as hell.
Right.
We're going to get to the actual release contract because it's pretty standard. It's pretty easy. But all the blogs running the bullshit said they only have screenshots. No, fool. They have all of this shit. And the problem with all of this stuff is they could have avoided all of this shit. And they decided not to. See, one thing for certain, two things for sure. They didn't, meaning the feds didn't jump on this immediately because they had to take their time. So when you hear pander bears like Mo Ganot say shit and they're trying to sway and say, well, why wouldn't the feds just sit up there and just arrest him the day of? They had an ankle monitor on him. They knew where the hell he was. They're not worried about the figurehead. No, they're worried about the 8 other people. That's like y'all saying to your goddamn coworkers, hey man, you know, everybody about to be fired. But you only tell one person, and this person happens to be the fucking manager. No, you don't tell the goddamn manager, hey man, everybody about to be fired. No, you bring everybody in. And so the manager, dumbass, can look befuddled as well, like, I didn't know this was coming. I'm being fired too. Because if you don't, you run the risk of everybody running like roaches. And one thing that the hood figures know is when you turn on that light, roaches scramble. But let's finish this one out. The victims' statements provided to law enforcement on the day of the offense, as well as their statements in subsequent interviews with investigators, recount that they feared they would be executed by Williams Jr. and his fellow co-conspirators. This fear is not unfounded. During the robbery that famously led to Williams Jr.'s previous federal conviction.
Right. That's exactly what I said, man. They had every reason and every right to be in fear for their life. And a judge has everything he needs to believe that they were in fear of their life.
2 victims were shot and wounded. For the victims and witnesses of Williams Jr.'s instant offense, the trauma of the incident has not dissipated in the subsequent months, with security officer CW recounting the fear he and his family still experienced in a letter to the court. Damn, so y'all went to the niggas' last victims? Shit. Well, damn. Anyways, the weight of the evidence against Williams Jr.
Damn. Talk about the past coming back to haunt you. They dug deep. They making sure that they put that boy under the jail. And everybody else that was involved is going to jail and going to be in there for a while as well.
Jr. is extraordinarily strong. The Brun Williams Jr. argument in his favor of his pretrial release is premised on his perception that the weight of the evidence in this case does not support detention. But in arguing this factor, disregards a substantial portion of the government's case. That case includes the cooperation of all 5 victims and witnesses, cell phone location data, and surveillance video placing the co-conspirators at the scene, and the video Wright Jr. filed of RD in the recording room being forced to declare that Williams Jr. was dropped from his label and released from his contract. Judge Tolliver called this evidence strong on April 8th on a record that did not yet include the release paperwork or the video. Both have now been recovered. Among other evidence, the government case includes not 1, but 5 cooperating victims and witnesses. And it says, Williams Jr. motions erroneously asserts that the sum total of government's case rests solely on a single victim, RD, who he further claims has now publicly recanted preliminary, is telling that Williams Jr. provides no exhibits, evidence, or context or citations to support the represented assertion in his filing that any victims of this offense have publicly recanted, aside from the conclusory assertions of the same. Conclusory assertions of the same. The government is presently unaware of any statements made by any of the victims in any way that challenge the consistent narrative provided to law enforcement since the very date of the incident that RD was forced to sign a release of contract at gunpoint by Williams Jr., that he was then forced to provide a verbal release captured on video. In April 2026, and each co-conspirator had been apprehended. Investigators conducted follow-up interviews with all 5 investigators. Each remained consistent with their prior accounts, meaning all that shit y'all was saying that Gucci Mane did not talk to the police, yeah, his ass did. In April.
You know he did.
Each remained consistent with their prior accounts and reaffirmed their cooperation with the prosecution. Williams Jr. contention that the single witness has recanted is unsubstantiated by anything in this motion and refuted by the victims and witnesses, consistent with the accounts of the offense. The victim statements are corroborated by the digital and physical evidence gathered in the course of this investigation. The government provided physical evidence at the April 8th detention hearing. Leg monitor data, surveillance footage, and a receipt from Staples and social media posts of stolen jewelry. Since then, it has recovered a copy of the release contract and video kidnapping, both of which corroborate the victim's accounts. William Jr.'s claim that no physical evidence exists is flatly wrong. Even at juncture, with the forensic review of seized devices and warrants returns still ongoing. On a record, this strong and still growing, the weight of evidence factor favors detention more heavily than it did when Magistrate Judge Tolliver first waited. The defendant's premature jurisdiction argument does nothing to rebut the strength of the evidence, and moreover, fails as a matter of law. Williams Jr. argues that there is a genuine question whether the charged conduct is a federal crime and that this should weigh against his detention. He's wrong. As a threshold matter, this argument challenges only the kidnapping charges. Even if Williams Jr. were to prevail, the Hobbs Act extortion and conspiracy counts would remain. Briefly entertaining the merits of his jurisdiction argument, notwithstanding that the proper vehicle to raise and legit this concern is through a motion to dismiss. Williams Jr. misunderstands what 1201A requires. The government satisfies the interstate commerce nexus by showing that the defendant used any means, facility, or instrumentality of interstate or foreign commerce in committing or furthering the offense. Fifth Circuit pattern, jury instructions 2.54. A cell phone is such instrumentality, and the Fifth Circuit has repeatedly upheld its use in furtherance of an offense as sufficient to meet this element. Damn. So if I make a call just to do some shit and it's cross state lines, that's fair shit.
Wow. That's new news to me. But I don't know, man. It's clear to me that they throwing any and everything at this boy that they can. They making sure that these crimes and making sure that he goes to jail. They're making sure everything sticks for sure. Pooh Shiesty done messed up, man. He done messed up bad, man. Damn.
I'm telling y'all, bro, it don't matter. Hey, bro, United States versus Anderson, finding that 1201A, a jurisdictional element, met where the defendant and other robbers used the cell phones before, during, and after the robbery to communicate while traveling to maintain lookouts during the robbery and to schedule a meeting to divide the stolen property. That does make a shit ton of sense, because it's basically saying if y'all plan some shit in another state to do some shit in another state, that's Fed shit, which you...
That makes sense.
Yeah, no shit. Anyways, can be classified as means, facility, or instrumentality of interstate or foreign commerce. In this case, Williams Jr. used a cell phone to, among other things, send text messages to RD, coordinating the January 10th meeting, and to converse with a VOA employee from the music studio prior to the offense regarding his ongoing non-compliance with his home confinement location requirements. He encouraged Wright Jr. to capture RD's verbal release of contract using Wright's Jr.'s cell phone, and he sent call to arms to a group chat containing Chopper gang members using encrypted cell phone messaging application Signal in the days leading up to the offense to gather an entourage to accompany him to Dallas. Basically, he probably used that WhatsApp shit to tell these niggas to pull the fuck up. And you can see right here. I don't know if this is WhatsApp. I've never.
And that's the dumbest shit ever, because I don't care if it's Snapchat or whatever, where it's supposed to just disappear after, 24 hours or something. Oh, the feds can still pull that back up. There's still a digital print of everything that you do on these cell phones and computers. I don't care if you do erase it. You may even be able to destroy the device, and they can still pull it up off of a cloud or some kind of hard drive or something somewhere. Quit using these cell phones when you commit these crimes, man. So that was dumb as hell. They thought they were smarter than the average bear, but like I said, man, nobody's bigger than the program. And they had to find out.
Ever been on that? It say, I need 6:30 for Saturday, pulling up on WAP, plus 2 drivers. Overstood. What we need to do? Bet. I'm there. Pull up on them where? Where I need to get to. Then it say, we there. Let me know. I need drivers. 30. Where you at? Bet. When y'all try.
I hate to stop it right there, but I just think it's so funny, man, that these days that these so-called gangsters communicate the plan of the crime that they're going to commit or that they committed through messages, man. It's just crazy, man. You never seen that back in my day. I swear, man. It's the silliest shit ever, man.
Trying to leave out, finna leave the A. It's on Shiesty and who he picked to come. I got the cat, the TRX, these hoes drinking gas though, and everybody can't go cause house at all. These folks be tripping.
Yeah, let's put the cars that we gonna use to commit the crimes in the messages as well, man. Let's just give them all the evidence to go along with the video and the witnesses that they got.
Everybody
Oh
get in
man.
touch with his, I don't know what the hell that is. ASAP, y'all seeing it as clear as I'm seeing it. ASAP 911 is serious, be ready. So y'all ain't driving, bruh, some shit. I don't know what the hell it say. It say, above Williams Jr. using the name Michael Myers discussing needing 630 or certified, which is believed to be referred to certified gang members with 2 drivers for that Saturday, January 10th, 2026, featured in the chat or responses from other members, defendant Dan Fu, a.k.a. Terrence Rogers, and Glizzy, a.k.a. Darian McDaniel. This evidence is more sufficient to surpass the jurisdictional hurdle of federal prosecution for this kidnapping, and Williams Jr. assertion that defendant's phone itself must be used across state lines in furtherance of the kidnapping simply misunderstands the law. And that is true. Nigga, you can't say this ain't Fed time when you call for some hyenas from out of state.
Right.
Williams' final argument rests on I don't know what the hell that is. What is that? Scriveners? I don't know. Anyways, Scrivener's error?
I can't see it.
Anyways, in a complaint in his claim that the 4 months had passed without anyone correcting it. But Williams Jr. own pleading shows S.A. Hansen corrected the error at the probable cause hearing once it was raised. Magistrate Judge Tolliver then found the government had met its burden, holding that there's probable cause to believe that you committed the law violations alleged in the criminal complaint and that the weight of the evidence against Williams Jr. in this case is strong. The correction carried through on all subsequent process. And since the initial detention hearing, a grand jury in this district has returned a true bill against Williams Jr. on these charges. The complaints inadvertent reference to the control room rather than the recording room does nothing to weaken the government's case and fails to provide any justification for Williams Jr. pretrial release. Williams Jr.'s history and characteristics paint him as a violent felon, unwilling and unable to follow court-imposed rules. Yeah, no shit. On the day of the kidnapping and robbery, Williams Jr. was still serving a 63-month release. We don't even got to get into all that. What I want to do
they ain't letting that
show y'all how stupid these niggas is. Williams Jr.'s Topper Gang affiliates have been on law enforcement radar since at least 2018. In December 2019, Memphis Police Department officers executed a search warrant at Williams Jr. residence and found him sitting on a Glock 22 pistol along with a 50-round drum magazine loaded with approximately 24 rounds, marijuana, and bulk currency. In July 2020, Williams...
Big brr. You know he in jail right now, like... You know he is.
Jr. reportedly threw fireworks at a gas station, drove away and returned in the same vehicle.
Idiot.
At which point, the occupant of the vehicle shot at the gas station. Y'all Memphis niggas is different.
Yeah, they different.
You try to blow this shit up with fireworks and pop back up in the same court? Yeah, I'm staying the fuck out.
Yeah, man, them Memphis boys, man, they don't give no... Swear to God, man, they don't care about nothing or nobody, man. Man.
Memphis, bro. Y'all need the National Guard to stay there permanently. On October 9, 2020, Williams Jr. drove a lime green McLaren with a fellow Chopper Gang leader to commit armed robbery, as he would later do in the instant case. Williams Jr. arranged a meeting under the guise of a business transaction, telling his victims that he wanted to buy sneakers, codeine, and marijuana, and to discuss his McLaren rental terms. Instead, Williams Jr. and his associates brandished firearms. Williams Jr. ultimately shot one victim with his Draco. Damn, for real? I thought he did the shit with a pistol. He shot him with a Draco? Sheesh. Hey. His fellow gang leader shot a second. The entire incident was caught on surveillance video like this shit. This is a disturbing pattern of behavior.
It really is.
If this pattern of violence was not enough, in May 2021, while out on state bond, Williams Jr. shot a security guard at a club as he and his entourage were being removed from the venue. Prior to this...
Man, that boy is dangerous, ain't he? Yeah, damn. Yeah, they definitely need to keep him off the streets, man. A lot of people's lives is in danger with him on the streets, man.
saw Williams Jr. had performed
damn.
at this very club and had traveled to this performance armed. Williams Jr. has previously demonstrated an inability to comply with terms of supervision.
Really?
Williams Jr. says his conduct since his release speaks for itself. And on that matter, the government concurs. But unfortunately for Williams Jr., his assertions that he reported for every urinalysis and complied with all the conditions of home detention without exception, are easily refuted by the records obtained from the VOA. In months surrounding the offense, VOA formally documented at least 5 violations for Williams Jr.'s conditions. He provided a code. We ain't even finna get into all that. Basically, we already got into all that before. But as a condition of home confinement, Williams Jr. was also required to abstain from alcohol and narcotics. Nevertheless, his text messages exposed his ongoing failure to do so, beginning around the time of his release from BOP. Below is a sampling of some of these messages. It say, just got out of shower. What you doing right now? High and drunk? You sleep? I don't know what this damn thing said right here in the blue. I can't see it. It say, what are you drinking? It say, Lizaroo? I don't know, or some shit. You asleep. Okay. So Williams Jr. Blue Bubbles responding to inquiry of what he was doing, that he was high and drunk. Williams Jr. Right Bubbles texting that he was drunk. Say, baby Williams Jr. texting that he's drunk as fuck. This conduct persisted after he committed the January 10th kidnapping and extortion. And in his words, knew of the investigation on him. Yeah, no shit, nigga. Anyways, Williams Jr. Blue Bubbles in 2026 admitted getting drunk. Williams Jr. discussing being torn up and passing out in the studio due to his alcohol consumption. And if alcohol consumption alone was not enough, Williams Jr. even admits one point to getting in a car accident while drinking and driving. What? What you doing, playing GTA, getting drunk? What's up? I just got out, been tore up. You was drunk, LMAO. Yeah, man, passed out in the studio. I got in a wreck. What the fuck? How? You was drunk? Yep. But somebody hit me. Man, what the fuck? These consistent violations of the entire course of home confinement are not the lapses of somebody trying to occasionally falling short. His own text messages betrayed his flippant attitude, and he remained clean and sober. And Williams Jr. built his official record of noncompliance, while at least one VOA employee was actively helping him evade his conditions by entering fake passes so he could even leave home. Even with an insider clearing the way, he could not or would not comply. This is not a defendant who can be trusted to follow the court's conditions, but one who treats them as obstacles to be overcome. Right. No condition of release can protect the community from this motherfucker. Conclusion, for all these reasons,
nigga thought he was bigger than the program.
There are no conditions or combinations of conditions that would significantly mitigate the danger Williams Jr. posed to the community of his flight risk. Accordingly, the court should deny his motion, docket 124, decline to impose conditions of release, and continue to detain Williams Jr. pending trial. So y'all can see right here. But I'm going to go and show y'all the contract, because the contract is fucking stupid. This is the contract right here. Here's right here. Okay, all right. We're going to read the whole entire thing and then we're going to get the fuck out of here. So, termination and release, January 9, 2026. Reference is hereby made to an agreement from 1017 Global Music Group, LLC, and Lantrell Williams, PKA, that means professionally known as Pooh Shiesty, artist, dated as of April 1st, 2020. The agreement, the following, when signed by artist and company, collectively the parties will constitute a full termination and release of the agreement by the parties, except as otherwise provided herein. The terms used in this agreement shall have the meanings and definitions as ascribed to them in the agreement for good and valuable consideration and receipt, and sufficiency of which is hereby acknowledged, and notwithstanding anything to the contrary expressed or implied in the agreement, the following shall constitute a valid and binding agreement between the parties with respect to the subject matter hereof. Binding terms. The agreement is hereby agreed to be of no force or effect, and without limiting to generality of foregoing is deemed to be void. AB initio. Okay, notwithstanding somebody wrote this shit. Yeah, he had a lawyer write this. It's pretty good. Anyways, the company has full rights, all this shit and everything. GPT. All musical compositions, lyrics, recordings, master recording, audiovisual works, artworks, logos, branding. They said, give us all of this shit. And a general release does not extend to claims that the creditor or releasing party does not know or suspect to exist in his or her favor at the time of executing the release, and that if known by him or her would have materially affected his or her settlement with the debt or release party. And then y'all see this right here, bro. It's over. It's over. If we are to be honest about anything, it's to be honest that Pooh Shiesty screwed himself. It's just gonna be fair. Pooh Shiesty never learned. He tried to do the exact same shit that he did before that got his ass 63 months.
Idiot.
Now he's about to get his ass 630 months. This is one of the dumbest people to ever join the music industry. So when people are hell bent on saying certain things and all this shit and everything, they had to realize we're all playing favorites. It's only the individuals who should know what favorite to actually protect. Did Gucci Mane go out like a bitch? Of course.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He did.
So
he really did, but
I'm not reading from from a script or anything like that, but the only arguments the defense has is the exhibits don't automatically prove a violation. The defense could argue, for example, sending an address doesn't prove he personally went there. Some locations may have been part of legitimate work or content production. The GPS interpretation or timing could be disputed. There may have been permission or explanations not reflected, but it says ultimately the weight of these exhibits depend on how the judge views them alongside. His ass ain't coming home.
Never.
He's never getting out, bro. If I'm his lawyer, I'm just gonna sit with him the next time I meet him and go, it's been nice knowing you. You seem like a very upstanding young man, but you fucked up in the head, bro.
Damn.
I'm going to work with the feds on getting you the best plea deal, and hopefully you only do 10 years. Maybe 15. But they have the contract. They have all of this shit. They have him as being the person to tell everybody what to do. Now, the robbery that happened inside the shit, he didn't want that shit to happen. I can vouch for that 1,000,000%. He didn't want that shit to happen. But everything else, bruh, he did. He's fucked.
For sure.
Everybody in there is fucked, man.
For sure.
And I'm going to be honest, his daddy did not want this shit to go like this. They should have went on a public campaign to basically say all that shit, bro. F Gucci Mane, man, he did my family wrong and all. They should have publicly bashed him. That's how you do it. You use the internet.
Right.
But first day out, first day in, bro, from FDO to FDI.
Yeah, it's over, man. It is definitely over, man. I would have to say, with the video evidence, the witnesses that's testifying, the phone records, man, Pooh Shiesty definitely messed up, man. And I bet his dad was like, damn, man, I should have just stayed at the crib. I don't know why I went with them young YNs, man. Why? It's crazy, man. Let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments, man. It's Big Lamar. Big Lamar, not the little one. Like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. I'm gone.